because it can create buck and also boost converter. So you think buck boost is great because it is new idea, and we use only a few devices, but we can obtain buck and boost together. Then there was a professor. He has a student. His name is Chuk. And the student was studying at Caltech. So it is a quite famous technology university. So the professor asked Chuk to go back and sleep, and asked him to develop a circuit which is the duality of the buck boost converter. So he said, can you go back and sleep? And after 1 month, you propose a new circuit which is the duality of buck and boost converter. And then he go back to get enough sleep, and then he considered how to do it. So finally, he developed a circuit. So people call it is choke converter. So why we call it is choke converter? Because choke invest this converter. So people use his name, like Ohm's law, Ampere's law. So people use his name. So his name is Chuk. So we put Chuk converter. So what does he think? He think if we have a voltage source, what is the duality of voltage source? We know current source. So it is simple. You say, I also understand I need this degree, but it is too late. So you can convert the DC voltage into DC current. So you have a series switch. How can you design the duality of series switch, parallel switch? So when he said this switch is series, then I should convert it to parallel, so parallel switch. Then we have shunt inductor. What is the duality of shunt inductor? Shunt is series, inductor is capacitor. So he said we have to change to series capacitor. Then we have series diode. What is the duality of series diode? It is shunt diode or parallel diode. So he changed this one to this one, so this one to this one. Then output load. We have voltage output load. What is the duality of voltage sink? Should be current sink, right? So it should be current sink. So this is voltage sink. Now we change to current sink. So this is his idea. But how can you implement a circuit to require current source, current sink? How can you buy a current source and a current sink? You cannot buy it, right? Because no these things. So how can you do it? You have to design. So he go back to think, how can we design this circuit? And then he say, if we need a current source, what can we do? We have a voltage VG, but we can series inductor. Then it become a current source. So we have this one to synthesize current source. Then we have a switch. So we have a switch. So we have switch here. So we have a switch. This switch. And we have a capacitor. Capacitor. Then we have here. So the switch can go here or go here. So we have to draw better. So we have a switch. It can go here or it can go here. So we have two choices. Switch here or switch here. And then we have what? We have this one, current sink. What is current sink? Current sink means we have constant current. So we need a inductor. So this is inductor. So current sink, inductor. Then we need a load. But our load should be voltage because DC-DC converter, right? Output should be voltage, not current. So we need voltage. And then we need smooth voltage. So we have to use capacitor to smooth the output voltage. And then we need a load. So this one is equal to current sink. So this one between switch and the diode, switch and the diode. This one is capacitor, and this one is current source. So then he finished his design. He proposed this circuit. So what is this circuit? Choke converter. So if you see this circuit, you have no idea because it is so complicated. How can you think about this circuit? It is impossible. But in Choke's brain, he think I have two steps. First, I convert by duality. Then I use real circuit to synthesize my circuit. Then he get a PhD. He get a famous name. And then he become popular. And then he become rich. He applied for patents. So you can say, I can do it. But it was too late, right? You have to propose. You have to be the first inventor. So Choke proposed this idea. Then how can we analyze it? So for regular people, we have a headache because it is so complicated. So how can you analyze it? You can use blackboard to explain because it is too complicated. So Choke use this as his PhD dissertation. And then people use his name for this converter. So we call it is Choke converter. Before we always say buck boost, but then it becomes people's name because it is very challenging, not easy. So people try to remember his contribution. So if you are a PhD student, do you need to spend all time in your laboratory to do circuit design? No. You have to sit down and come down, right? Because the concept is more important than your circuit. Topology is more important. So he created his own topology. So now we want to analyze his circuit. So I draw this circuit again. We have VG plus minus. We have L1. And we have I1. And we have switch here. This is switch 1. Okay. We have switch here. We have switch 2. So we have capacitor here. So this is C1 plus minus V1. So the switch could be connected to position 1, or the switch could be connected to switch 2. And then we have inductor L2. Then we have I2. Then we have capacitor C2. We have resistor R. And we have V2. This is V2. So this is his circuit. But his circuit is too complicated. So we want to step by step. So how can you synthesize the circuit? We can use input voltage, VG. And we have inductor, L1. Then we have a switch here. The switch can go here and go here. So what is the switch? Can you suggest? It should be MOSFET, right? So here we should have a MOSFET. So this is S1. We use a MOSFET. And then this one should be a diode, right? If MOSFET turn on, diode turn off. If MOSFET turn off, diode turn on. The same as before. So we have to put a diode here. So between them is a capacitor. C1. Okay. And then we have inductor. L2. Then we have capacitor. V2 and C2. We have resistance. So this is a real circuit. So we synthesize the circuit like this. Now we have to analyze it. So we have different mode. So the first mode, this is the first subinterval. So at that moment, the switch is in operation 1. So now we make the switch connect to 1. Then what is your equation? So now we turn on the switch. So the switch is turned on. So then it becomes 0. If this becomes 0, then this is VL. So what is VL? So this is VL1. So we can draw VL1 is equal to what? This is turned on. This is VL2. This is ground. This is VL1. So VL1 equal to what? VG. Right? VL1 equal to VG. How about VL2? So VL2 we can check here. So this is VL2. So this is plus, minus. This is VL2. So what is this voltage? This is turned on. So this is 0. How about this one? This is 0. Then how about this voltage? Minus C1, right? Because this is ground, is 0. So how about this one? Minus C1. So this one minus this one, how about this one? This is VC2. So VL is minus VC1 minus VC2. So we can draw this one, and it is minus V1 minus V2. How about IC1? IC1 is this one. So IC1 is this current. This current. So I2 is here. So now this switch turned on. this switch turn off. So we have current go here. So IC1 and IC2 and I2 are series, right? If they are series, they have the same current. So IC1 should be equal to I2. And how about IC2? IC2 is this current. So this current is equal to this current minus this current. So this is V2 divided by R. It is equal to IR. So this current is input current minus this current. So this is I2 minus IR. So we can say I2 minus V2R. So we got four equations. If the switch is in position 1, we got four equations. So this is the mode 1. Mode 1. Then we move to mode 2. So the second. Then the switch is in, this is position 1, in position 2. Position 2. Then we also have four equations because VL1 is equal to what? So now we move to this switch. So switching 1 is off, switching 2 is on. So what is VL? So VL is here. This is VL1. Okay. So you can see this is V1, this is ground. So how about this voltage? This is V1. And how about VL1? VL1 is VG minus V1. So VL1 is VG minus V1. So you can see VL1 is this voltage minus this voltage. This voltage is VG. This voltage, this to ground, is V1. So VG minus V1. How about VL2? VL2, this voltage. So this is ground, this is V2. So VL2, this is V2. So 0 minus V2. So 0 minus V2. So minus V2. So you can easily write it. How about IC1? IC1 is here. Here, IC1. So here you can see this is ground. So this is a loop. So IC1 should be equal to I1. So IC1 is equal to I1. How about IC2? So IC2 should be here. So IC2 is I2 minus IR. So this is IR. IR is V2 divided by R. So IC2 is I2 minus IR. So it is I2 minus V2R. So we have four equations for operation 1, four equations for operation 2. Then what happened? We want to draw the waveform. So what is the waveform? So we have position 1 and position 2. So we can draw the waveform. So we have VL1, we have VL2, we have IC1, we have IC2. So we have mode 1 we have more than 2. So first, in the first interval, then in the second interval. In the first interval, how about VL1? VL1 is Vg. VL1 is Vg. How about in the second interval? VL1 is Vg minus V1, right? But in the first interval, VL1 is positive. It is inductance voltage. In the second interval, it should be positive or negative. Because we say the average voltage of the inductance should be 0. If this is positive, then the voltage average is not 0. So if the first one is positive, how about the second one? Should be negative. So should be negative. So what is second one? Vg minus V1. So it should be negative. Then VL2. VL2 is minus V2 minus V1. So it is negative. Minus V1 minus V2. Then how about the second stage? Minus V2. So minus V1 minus V2 is negative. Then V2 is more positive. So V2 should be here. Minus V2. Right? So because this is negative, so this should be positive. So we can draw this waveform. How about IC1? In the first stage, it is I2. So in the first stage, IC1 is I2. So what is I2? This is switch here. If switch is here, this switch is here, then you can say this is 0 voltage. And this one is plus. So if this is plus, this is 0, then it should be this way. But I2 is this way. So I2 should be negative. So you can see I2 should be negative. So we can see this one, I2 should be negative. And then next time it will become I1. What is I1? I1 is here. So I1 go this way. So I1 is positive. So you can see I1 is positive. So it should be here and here. So this is I1. How about IC2? In the first stage, IC2 is I2 minus V2R. I2 is here. V2R is here. So this one minus this one. How about this current? This average current should be 0. So we can say this could be 0. And how about next interval? Because the IC2 is 0 here, also 0. So we can draw this waveform. So this is DTS. This is D prime TS. So we have draw the waveform like this. So then we can use balance. So we need to make balance. So first, the VL1. What is the average of VL1? Should be 0. Because inductor voltage average should be 0, right? So it includes 2 parts. The first stage is Vg. The time interval is D. So it's dVg. The second interval is Vg minus V1. So the time is D prime. D prime Vg minus V1. So we can say this way. How about VL2? the average should be 0. So it includes the first part. So D minus V1 minus V2. And the second part, so D prime minus V2 is 0. Okay. And then IC1, the average should be 0. So it includes this part, VI2, plus this part, D plus I1. So it is 0. And then IC2, it is equal to I2 minus IR. So I2 minus V2R, it should be 0 because it is capacitor current. So now we have this equation like this. So then, first one, we can check this. This is dVg plus d prime Vg minus d prime V1 equal to 0. D plus d prime equal to 1, right? Because this is duty cycle, this is another duty cycle. So this one plus this one become 1. So which means Vg equal to what? Vg equal to d prime V1. So Vg is input voltage. D prime is positive. So how about V1? V1 is Vg divided by Vg divided by D prime. Vg is positive. Duty is smaller than 1. So Vg should be large. Then this is larger than Vg, right? So V1 is larger than Vg. And V1 is positive. So V1 is here. So V1 is positive. It is larger than Vg. So we can know it here. Okay. So you can see here. V1 is larger than Vg. So Vg minus V1 become what? Negative. Right? And this is Vg. Vg is positive. So you can check. It is correct. So we have the first idea. And how about V2? We can have here, we can say this one, V2. So minus dV1 minus dV2 or minus d prime V2 equal to 0. And then we can combine this one and this one, minus dV1 minus V2 equal to 0. Then we have to calculate V2. V2 is what? Minus dV1. And we call V1. V1 is Vg divided by d prime minus dVg divided by d prime. So d is positive, d prime is positive, Vg is positive, but we have negative here. So what is V2? V2 is negative. So V2 should be negative. So we can see here. See here. V2 is negative. So we can see V2 is negative. So we can put here. V2 is minus d prime Vg. So V2 is negative. Okay. So we finish this part. And then we go to here. So IC1 is equal to 0. So from here, we can check I1. What is I1? I1 is minus d prime I2. So from here, we can get this one. And minus d prime. What is V2? What is I2? I2 is equal to minus d prime Vg divided by R. So this is I2. Okay. So finally, we can get the result is d prime square Vg R. Vg is positive. It is input voltage. R is positive. Square is positive. So the total should be positive. So I1 is positive. So I1 is positive. So you can check it is correct. How about I2? And here, I2 is V2R. It is equal to minus d prime Vg R. So d is positive, d prime is positive, so this is positive. Vg is positive, R is positive, but we have negative here, so the result should be negative. So we can see I2 is negative. So we check everything. Then we found the figure is correct because we check the sign and every sign is correct. So you can see it is quite complicated. However, if you go step by step, then you can get the result. So then we can go the next one. We want to do more. So in the first interval, what is dI1? dI1 dt is VL1 divided by L1. So in the first interval, this is closed. So we can calculate dI1. It is Vg L1. So it is positive. So this is positive, which means I1 is increased. And dI2 dt is equal to VL2 L2. It is equal to minus V1 to minus V2 L2. So we can get dI2 is here. Okay. And dV1 dt is IC1 divided by IC. It is I2 divided by C. So we can get this result. This is the first time interval. And then we can get the second interval. By using the same way, we can get the second interval. Then the result is dI1 dt is VL1 divided by L1. It is Vg divided by L. It is positive. And the dI2 dt is VL2 divided by L2. It is minus V1 minus V2 divided by L2. And the dV1 dt is IC1 C1. It is I2 C1. So we can get a 4 equation to show the variation. So now we will check first one, I1. So this means I1 is increased. So we have I1 here. So maybe we can remove this one. So we want to draw the figure. We have I1. We have I2. We have V1. Okay. And I think here V1. So this is 0. And we have mod 1 and then mod 2. So first I1. So you can see in the mod 1, I1 is positive. So dI1 dt is increase. So we have I1 is positive, so it is increase here. And then if we work at mod 2, then we can see here. Check. So dI1 is positive, and mod 2. Oh, I make a mistake. This one should be minus V1 L1. So this is Vg minus V1 divided by L1. Okay. So mistake. Yeah, this is mistake. So I copied the wrong way. This should be minus V2 L2. This is I1 C1. Okay, so this is correct. So in position 1, dI1 dt is positive, so it is increase. In the second mode, V1 is larger than Vg. So this becomes negative, but this is positive. So dI1 dt is negative. So here, this is Vg minus V1 divided by L1. This is Vg L1. It is positive and negative. Okay. How about I2? We can see this one. This is minus V1 minus V2 L2. So it is negative. And this is minus V2. So it becomes positive. So it is smaller than minus V1 minus V2. So it becomes positive. So in this case, I2 always negative. But in here, it is reduced. So you can see it is reduced. And then it is increased. So we can draw this one. So this is 0. So it is always negative. How about Vc1? Vc1 is here. So first is I2C. So this is positive. This is positive. So this is positive. So which means V1 we can draw this one, and then we can have this one. So I2 is negative. So this is negative. But this is positive. This is negative. This is positive. So it becomes negative. So we can draw this one. So let me draw this one. It is like this. So it is I2C1. Slab is I2C1. And then it is decreased. And then after here, it is I1C1. It becomes positive. So you can see the change. And finally, you can develop the output to input. So the V2 to Vg, this is your K. So V2 to Vg is minus D, 1 minus D. So it becomes buck boost. So we can draw the relationship. So we have 0 here, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1.0. So if D is 0, then 0, 1, so it is 0. If D is 0.2, 0.2, 0.8, so it is quite small. It is negative here. If D is 0.4, 0.4, 0.6, 0.6. And if D is 0.6, 0.6, 0.4, then it is 1.5. If D is 0.8, 0.8, 0.2 become 4 times. If g is 1, 1 divided by 0 become what? Infinity. So you can see the gain is like this, right? So what is, if you control d at 1, you got infinity gain. If you control the duty as a small, then gain is small. So you can obtain the relationship, so minus d, 1 minus d, this is the gain. So what is this converter? This is buck boost. So after analyze, we see this is buck boost. And you have to use the balance to see the whole circuit. So what is the principle? So now we want to make a conclusion to check the tube converter. What is the basic idea of the tube converter? So we have VG here, VG here, and then we have inductor here, and we have current IL1 here, we have VA here, and we have switch here, and we see this is VA. So this is the circuit, and we have capacitor here. We call VC. So the capacitor is VG minus VO, and then we have VB. We have VB here. We have diode here, and we have inductor here. We have capacitor here, and we have load here. And then we have output VO equal to V2 here. So what is the basic principle? If the switch is on, then what happens? We have inductor here, then switch on. This is short circuit. So how about the current? The current goes this way to charge the inductor, right? How about this one? If the switch is on, then if the switch is on, then the diode is off. If the switch is on, because this is, we call opposite, so we can have this one. And if the switch is on, we can go this way. How about this one? Then we can go this way. Go this way. Okay. So we have two loops. We have two loops. But the diode is turned off. So this is turned off. So there is no current here. So if switch is on, then we can charge the inductor L1. And we also can charge the capacitor. So if switch is on, the diode should be off. Let me check again. If the switch is on, this is off. So this loop can happen. This can, because diode is off. But we can go this way. We can go this way. Then we can check this one. This is minus plus because the output is negative. Then we have no loop here. Okay. If switch is off, so then the switch is off. Then the diode is on. Diode is on. If diode is on, then what happens? Then we have a loop here. So we have a loop here. If diode is on, then what happens? We have a loop here. So if diode is on, we have a loop from here, and I loop from here. So this is the fundamental idea of the Chuk converter. And then we can see the waveform. So what is the waveform? So I want to draw the waveform to make a convolution. So we have VA, we have IL1, we have IL2, we have VB, so we have 2 more. Okay. So in the first one, switch on. In the second one, diode on. If switch is on, then VA is 0. And the IL1 is increased. So the slope is VG L1. And the IL2 here is also increased. So this is VG L2. And then the output is here. So this is VO. So this is switch on. If switch is off, then diode on, then we can get high voltage. So this is VC. So VC larger than VS. So this is VC. So this is diode off. And then this one, it is VG minus VC L1. So VC is larger than VG, so become negative. So we have negative slope. And this is VO L2. Slope is VO L2. VO is negative, so it is negative. And this becomes 0. So we have this waveform. So this is the final waveform. So now I want to ask you some question. What is the disadvantage? So can you make a conclusion? If you compare buck boost and Chuk converter, what is the disadvantage? The first one is current ripple become larger. Become larger. Because the voltage difference become higher. The next one is negative output voltage. Negative output voltage. But the problem is, what is the advantage of Chuk converter? You spend so complicated circuit. What is your advantage? So can anyone show me what is the advantage of Chuk converter? If you compare to the buck boost, what is the advantage of Chuk converter? So you think capacitor here, can we use 2 capacitors series to replace 1 capacitor? Yes, it is okay. If this is okay, can I cut here, put a transformer here? The transformer is 1 to 1. Is it okay? Yes. If I can do this, then I can put this one here, this one here. Can I reverse the polarity? Yes. Then I can change the output. So this is one advantage. Another advantage is, can I change the ratio? Because I can put this 10 turns. this is 110. Can I increase the voltage ratio? Yes. But if you use buck boost, you have no chance to use what? Transformer. Then you cannot change. So for the Choke converter, we can separate input and output. If we can separate input and the output, then we can become more safety. Because the voltage never comes here, so it becomes more safe. If the output is buck, then here we only have 5 volts. So it is better. It is better. So the Choke converter has some advantage. First one is safety. The second one is quality. We can change the quality. And we can use a capacitor here. So the capacitor can do the coupling. So we can block DC. Because if you choose a capacitor, only AC can pass. DC will be blocked. So it is another good thing. But if you use buck boost, then you cannot block DC. So here you can block DC. So we still have some advantage. So you can see some paper still use Choke converter to study. So because it provides some advantage. So from this course, we can learn the idea of the DC-DC converter. So what is more important? Topology. We have to develop topology because topology is important, right? So if you want to topology, is it easy? No, it is fundamental, right? So topology is not easy. If you want to use topology, what should you study? You have to study electrical circuit. So topology is more important than circuit because you have topology first, then you have circuit next. So if you only do the revise for the circuit, in general, people say you are doing minor things, small change. Like this pen, if I change to black, can I apply for a pattern? No, because only color. If I change the shape, can I apply for a pattern? No. But if I change the principle, the right result is better, can I apply for a pattern? Yes, you can. So topology is more important than circuit. But topology is very hard, like Choke converter, very complicated. He used duality, right? And he used mode 1, mode 2 energy patterns to show everything is fine. And then finally, he proposed what is my disadvantage, what is my advantage. So it becomes a big tree, not a circle. So from here, we can learn something. So I think I will stop here. And okay, this is called a demo. So we just stop here.